Welcome to ProPractice, your guide to refine, enliven, and illuminate the piano repertoire. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is based on the Schubert Waltz in B minor, Op.18 No.6. And it's a charming little waltz from a big set of pieces that Schubert wrote, Opus 18. Okay, and today we're going to be going over all sorts of tips to help you become as efficient as possible in your practice sessions, including tips on how to get the left hand accurate. If you're playing this piece, you're probably around the late beginner, maybe early intermediate phase, and getting those jumps can be difficult, especially when you're multitasking between both hands. We're going to be going over some tips on how to get voicing better, meaning playing the right hand melody louder than the left hand accompaniment. We'll be going over pedaling, and then finally we'll be going over shaping, some dynamics, as well as some rubato to help each of you. So by the end of this video, you should have a pretty clear guide on some ideas that can help you play this piece a lot more beautifully, a lot more artistically. So let's start with just some technical work. We're just going to go through and play the piece, the first two lines up until the repeat comes for the first time, bar 17. So we'll play the first 16 bars, just right hand, then just left hand, then we'll do hands together and start going over more of those tips. Okay, but gotta master our notes and rhythms first. If you aren't familiar with counting, the way I like to count 16th notes is, or semiquavers if you are in London and some other countries, England and some other countries that I teach a few students on Skype from. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1. Okay, now I'm not going to count in the left hand because it's just a basic 3 beat, 3/4 time signature, but you can be counting 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and, but I would probably recommend continuing to count 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Okay, what I want you to focus on here is I want you to see if you can feel your way up to this. So what I'm doing as I'm looking at my music is I'm feeling where the group of 3 black keys are, and I know I'm going to use, you can use either a closed fingering like 5-2-1 or a slightly more open fingering 4-2-1. Either way is fine according to your hand size. But whatever finger that you're going to put that F sharp on, try to feel your way up to it. Okay, right there. Those are my 3 black keys. And that's how I orient myself while just looking at the music, okay, is based on the 2 and 3 black keys. Okay, same thing here. As I go down for this F sharp, find the 3 black keys. And again, I'd be using mostly 4-2-1 or 5-2-1 on those. When you go up to here, you could use 5-3-1. It's just whatever feels comfortable in your hand is what I want you to do. There are some bad fingerings, like I wouldn't be, doing like 5-3-2 or something weird like that. I would try to always keep the thumb up top, because then you kind of have this boundary so far as fingering. Beyond that, another thing that I want you to start doing, even at this preliminary phase, is thinking about the dynamics that you're going to be using in your left hand. So for instance, the left hand needs to stay very soft. According to what edition you're in, this one is marked pianissimo. So this wants to be very kind of mysterious. So I want you to start stroking back slightly on the keys. What that does is it gives you a little bit more control over that hammer speed going up and hitting the string. So pulling back slightly like that. And again, I'm using heavy arm weight, but I'm stroking back to slow down those hammer speeds. So I don't want like this really rigid finger position, hand position like that, because that's gonna strike it too hard. Right there, let's actually just do those first 8 bars and actually introduce the pedal right now as well. We're just gonna pedal once per measure, except in that bar we just did. So we'll just put our pedal down. We're gonna change it here, up, down, up, down, up, down. Again, this is the far right pedal. In case you're not familiar with pedal, keep your heel on the ground, and then every time after you've played the note, like it can be a millisecond after you've played it, but the note has to be down, then go up, down with your pedal. Since this is more of a beginner piece, I wanted to cover some of these basics. Okay, here we are in bar 5. Okay, now here, the harmony changes within the measure. That gets a little muddy if we do that. See, that's too muddy. So we'll change here, and then we'll change down here as well. Okay, keep going. Bar 9, here's 10, 11. There's another one where I change right there. So pedal, change, change. Now, on that last measure, bar 16, by the way, I use the words bar and measure interchangeably, mostly because my European students say bar. In America, we generally say measure, and teaching on Skype many hours every day, I deal with all sorts of different students and different labels of these musical terms. So please forgive me if that's confusing you. Just right there in that bar number 16, 1, 2, off. You can kind of feather the pedal up. You just gradually release it. So pedal off. You don't go and then pull it up suddenly. Up, okay? All right, now let's put it together. If you're having trouble putting this together, just do it in 1 bar increments until that feels good. And then once that feels good, try going to the downbeat of the next bar. Always getting that overlap into the next bar will greatly help you when you go to string these bars together. Then move on just to bar 2, to the downbeat of 3. Then try putting bars 1 and 2 together. Okay, and just keep doing that same method. You can add on forwards. You could also add on in reverse order. So you could start on bar 16. Sometimes I like doing this because I'm always finishing to something. It's not like I'm adding on the front end of this forever and until the end of the piece. I'm always finishing to an end point. So here, I'll just end to bar 17. Okay, now I'll go 15 until that feels good, and then I'll put those 2 together. Okay, and then I'll add 1 more before that. Okay, now some people will tell you that you need to pedal change, 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 change. That gives it a little bit more of a breathless quality. You can watch my other tutorial, the Chopin A minor waltz, where we definitely did that because of that's gonna get a little too muddy. Here, you don't really need that pedal change because that's all B minor harmony. So I wouldn't fuss with the pedal except on those measures where there's more harmony changes, like bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Change, change. Otherwise, 1 pedal per bar. A little brighter with this A7 harmony. Now, if you don't know your harmonies, like if you can't do B minor, F sharp 7, B minor, F sharp 7. If you can't do that, go and watch my ProPractice Technique series, and it will guide you through all triads and seventh chords in every single key so that you'll be able to do that kind of harmonic analysis. Okay, beyond this, now that we're getting all of the basics down, let's talk about voicing and dynamics, and then a little bit of rubato, kind of the pushing and pulling of time. So voicing exercises for this type of piece, which is really big.